Hey everyone, thanks for joining me today. I am making some little notebooks from the index cards that we made yesterday. Um, I've done it two ways, and this isn't really a tutorial because it's pretty, I mean, you can look at them and pretty much tell what I've done. This is not how I intended to do it. I wanted to make tabs out of the index card themselves, like use the envelope punch and make tabs. But then I realized I was going to lose way too much writing spot space, and there isn't a lot to begin with once you fold it. So I got this inspiration from Kathy's Garden, and I will put her link below. She makes hers, well, they look different, but that's what inspired this. And then I made one for myself that is like a traveler's notebook, and I put this beautiful paper inside. Look at that. Isn't it beautiful? The flowers. And this paper was gifted to me by a wonderful lady, and she didn't want me to make a big deal about it, so I'm not going to, but I just wanted to show this paper. I just think it's beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. And it's probably not showing very good, but it's a really pretty pink color. And also with that, I was gifted this book. Look at this. Look at it. Isn't it gorgeous? The spine, look at the gold embossing is so pretty. My grandson, he's 14, and when I got this, he just loved it. It says trust in the Lord with all your heart. Proverbs 3:5, and he just couldn't believe someone would give me something so beautiful. And so I'm going to make this, of course, for myself, so it might not be the quickest make. I always tend to put things for me kind of last, but look at all these beautiful papers. Aren't they gorgeous? And then, of course, pe peacock stationery. Oh, goodness. And I think still have some peacock Italian paper. I just can't wait to make this. It's just going to be gorgeous. But my grandson, he took some of his Christmas money and bought himself a Bible. And it is beautiful. It's blue leather. He was so proud of that. I think maybe for the 100-day challenge, maybe I'll work on that book. I don't know. Hope I do better than I did last year because I think I made it 2 days. Two, two, yeah, probably two. Then that might be pushing it. But I'm hoping to do more this year because I'm really wanting to finish Scott's book, and I don't know. I don't know if I'll get that done or not. It always ends up being a little more difficult than I think it will be. So I've put a little pocket on the front of this one, little tab, and some sorry silk, just a piece of scrap. So that's why it's not quite long enough to hit the whole book. And then I just pulled out my tea dye and ink dye scraps and put in some beautiful papers, just really pretty papers that apparently, look at this. I shouldn't even show this, but I'm going to because I don't think anybody that's watched my channel would expect anything else. I glued that tab right to my paper. Sure did. Yeah. Oh, for the love. That right there is a proud moment. You think that don't look silly? Look at that. Now look at that. Who does that? Me. Me. Wow. Okay, well, it did have some pretty papers in it. Wow. Well, good morning to you. This is pretty. But anyway, I just made a little notebook. Uh, Ain't that a shame? And that was pretty too, I thought. Darn it. Okay, so here's another one. This is the one that had the tulle tissue paper. I didn't do a lot to the front of this one because I think that tulle just kind of speaks for itself. And in the seam of this one on the spine, I just took a piece of muslin and stamped it, and left it black and white. I thought that kind of did it justice. And this was actually a little tag that broke. So I made it into a tab. And look, I didn't even glue it to the papers. Ooh, this is some of that pretty rust dye paper. Just some tea dye. And some of the distress inked paper. Wow. Well, that's a shame, is what that is. But I thought I would put one of these together, hopefully a little better than I put this one together. I guess that's going to be mine, isn't it? And I just stapled these two. And the traveler's style notebook I made for myself, I just slid in the paper so that I can always replace them for some more. I really like that. That paper went perfect. And I put a little flower there and little tag. Label, not a tag. So that's those. And then I was looking at these bee ones, and I have some of this beautiful bee fabric. And I thought maybe I could make that the spine on one of these. I think I might use the one that has a lot of script in it. That way, I mean, it kind of speaks for itself too. And that's the good thing about these napkins on the index paper, index cards. It's not like you really have to do too much to it. I mean, it's done. It's decorated. Your covers are. So I'm just going to fold it in two. Anyway, does anyone else do the 100-day challenge? I'm going to round the corners. Last year I started, I was full force. And seriously, I think I made it 2 days. I intended to finish the book for Scott. And it didn't work out. But I still have it all together. And I am still going to finish it. It's just taking a little longer than I thought. You know, it's easy to put off something like that that's a little bit difficult to do. Scott was my husband, of course, and he was the funniest man, the funniest person, just period. He just made me laugh. It's funny too because I was married before to my daughter's dad, and I had been single for quite a while, and several years, and my best friend actually said, one of these days you're going to meet somebody that makes you laugh, and they're going to sweep you off your feet. And I thought, I don't think so. Well, I did, and he was hysterical. He could just make a face that would just make you bust a gut. He was so funny. He would tell the funniest stories. And him and Hayden were tight. Hayden is the 14-year-old grandson, and they were tight. They were like best buddies. Hayden is self-taught computers since he was 2 years old, and he taught Scott how to play Minecraft. And I came home from work one day, and Scott was kind of bulled up, and I heard him tell Hayden, if you don't stop stealing all my stuff, I'm not playing with you no more. And Hayden was just laughing, and I said, what's going on? And he said, well, he's left me with nothing but dirt. I even have dirt pants. So now I'm just going to tear some papers. And these should be about the right size to go inside. I love this rust paper. It just is so pretty, I think. It's a piece of tea-dyed. Scott and I, we used to kid about things that really shouldn't have been funny, but that's how we dealt with most everything, was laughter. And we were almost married 20 years. It would have been our 20th anniversary the year that he passed away. And I can remember we were driving in town, and it was like, well, you think we might as well just stay married for 20 more. Ain't nobody else going to like us. And it's like, yeah, I guess that's a deal. And I was telling him, I said, well, here's the thing. If anything ever happens to me, I'm going to give you some tips on meeting someone new. Okay, he said, because he was pretty shy, and like I said, we just talked stupid. It wasn't like, please don't take this serious, because it was just meant to be funny. But so I told him, I said, well, first thing is you got to brag a lot about how great of a cook I was, because women love for you to brag about on other women, which we all know ain't true. We don't want to hear about nobody else. And I said, and if she spends all day making you something good, you tell her, you say, well, that was good, but boy, Christy made it a lot better. I said, she'll really appreciate your honesty. He said, really? I said, yeah, that's what you need to do. And I said, and cry over me every day. I don't know if I prefaced this to say we were talking about what if something happened to the other one. And I said, make sure and cry over me every day. For 10 years, you have to cry. And we were laughing. It was like, boy, that's a long time, 10 years. He said, every day, every day. And I laughed to myself because it'll be 9 years in May. And I tell him all the time, well, Lewis, I still cry over you. So I guess I wasn't exaggerating too much. But, somebody told me one time, or I read it, or I just thought, I don't know. I just say things that I don't really know if that's how it went or not. But anyway, if you can cry, if you ever had love that you can still cry over them 10 years later or however many years later, if you have known love in your life that it hurt you, then you've been blessed. And I know that sounds really stupid, but think about it. I mean, some people go a whole lifetime and don't know that kind of love. Somebody that you miss all the time. And this isn't meant to be a sad video, because it's not. I'm very grateful that I had him in my life. He was a hot mess. He made me laugh like nobody else. And it was, I'm going to have to do decal edges, you know that. It was the time of my life, for sure. And we were night and day, too. He was laid back and, funny. And I was always high-strung. Everything got me all wadded up, and he just, just was not like that. Okay. So I think on this one, there's our little papers. Isn't that cute? I think on this one, I might. Ooh, here's another paper. I think I'll put that in there. But nah, already decal edged, so I'm not going to do it. But I think I'm thinking instead of stapling this one, that's what I did on the others. I stapled them first. And then I put whatever fabric on the seam. And I think this time, I'm thinking I might just sew it instead of stapling it. I love this fabric. Isn't it beautiful? So pretty. Yeah, I think that's what I'm going to do. And that way the edge will kind of stay fluffed up, like it won't be completely down. Boy, that's pretty. I love that fabric. I'm actually working on a bee journal, so this would be perfect. Tuck in a little pocket. So let me sew this real quick, and we'll come back and throw a few things on the front, and that's how easy these index cards are. I love them. Be right back. Well, I'm not right back. Let me tell you why. Because I think today's not the day to be crafting for me. Because what I did was something dumb. When I sewed it, I did it from the outside, which I thought, I really can't see that very well, but I just continued to sew. So I did it all crooked, see? So then I took it out, which luckily I used a very long stitch, kind of like a book stitch, and it was easy to take back out. But now I have little dots all the way down. So I sewed it from the inside. If you sew yours, do it from the inside where you can see where your seam is. I mean, I could put washi tape here and fix that. And, I might if I ever go to put it in a journal, but I think I've gommed it up and I'm probably not going to put it in a journal. I'll probably just keep it myself, or who knows? Who knows? But sad thing is now I've ruined this piece of fabric because no one will ever probably see it now but me, because, I mean, like, it won't go to another home, because I would hate to give somebody something that I've just done that to. That ain't very nice. Even though I like it, because I like grungy, and I like the sewed part where there's no stitching. I think that looks cool. I like the rugged look. Sometimes I've even done things with no thread just to give it that look where the holes are at. I like it. And I wanted to say, I was talking about some people never get that kind of love. I wasn't trying to brag. I was just saying he was a blessing, to be thankful for, the time that I had, and that's all I meant. I wasn't trying to be, look what I had. That anyway, I'm gonna let that go, because the more I talk, the worse I get. Kind of like digging myself a deeper hole. Okay, so I made these little tabs out of some Tim Holtz packaging. That would be pretty on there. I hate to put a lot of things on this because, like I said, I don't know if anybody's ever gonna, like I say, I guess I could put washi tape on there. So I punched this little thing out of some packaging and then put a stamp on it. So I'm going to glue that right there. Well, what happened? Look, this is supposed to have been a really short video, and it's going to be, because I'm going to edit out everything that I can. Except for my mess ups, because, you never know. Somebody else might make the same mistake. I doubt it. But you don't know. Don't glue your papers. Okay, we got that. Okay. So there is that. And let's see. Like I said, there's really not a whole lot we need to decorate. I thought I'd put a little label on, and on maybe pick out one of these little die cuts or something. I think I'm going to use this one, and I'm just going to let it run off the edge. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. Because I like all those numbers in there. I don't know why I'm inking all the way around it. I just said I'm going to cut it off. Ooh, boy, this is going to be... Ooh, maybe I want a little flower, too. Is that too much color? Do you think? Or, yeah, I think that's too pink. Ooh, I would like to have one of these little sunflowers. Maybe I'll cut one of those off. See how bad I can mess this up. Trying to cut it where those two I can use on something bigger, and then I'll see. That looks like it's meant to be that way. So now I'll fix this one, maybe. I need to cut it down some more. Yeah. Cut it a little bit more. I hate to lose my leaf. But maybe I can... First, let me glue this down. We'll start... Well, I have really messed this little thing up today. Let's see, how much of this do I want on there? Guess I could still put that leaf under there somehow, couldn't I? Nah, I'm not doing that. That just looks silly. Okay. What do you think? Is it cute? Now, on the other ones, I did have to set them underneath something just so they wouldn't bubble up for a bit. But it didn't take very long, probably 10 minutes. And they laid flat, and that's probably what I'll end up doing with this one. Oh, and then another thing I did was I had printed just notes, the word notes, on some tea-dyed paper. Oh, these are years and years old, and I thought they would make cute little things to put on the front of this. I have some smaller ones. I just did the whole thing like that. I'll tear this a little bit and put it on the front too. There. I think I like the placement of that. I don't know. Very cute. So tell me, if this was in a journal, tucked in a journal, what would you think? Would you think, wow, they did a terrible job sewing? Or would you think it looked cool? I would think they did a terrible job sewing. Of course, you know, if I had thought, and I still could do it, I could sew on the other side too. And when they went, I mean, these just tear out really easy. Like they could just be tear out sheets. And that way, when they're done, they could use this as a piece of ephemera in their book. That's an awesome idea. That's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to take my thread out, sew down this side, and that way they're going to be tearable sheets. Love it. Thank you, Lord, for not letting me ruin that. I hope you like these. I hope they give you some inspiration. Maybe you'll make some out of your index cards. That down there. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye.